Hey guys, what's up? I'm here with Proud Masculine Joe. How's it going, buddy?
Going great, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. I really enjoyed talking with you. I think we did a show last year and everything, and forgot what it was about, but it was about just taking action in life and everything. And we did a really good job talking back and forth. And I was like, I gotta have you back on again because talk about four traits that make a guy masculine or every masculine man should have. Because you'd be the perfect guest for this, and I can get you can share some of your ideas, and I could share some of my ideas with you. So I'll let you get rolling. So why do you think it's important for guys to learn masculine traits these days?
I think it's important for any man to know to live from a masculine core, from a masculine essence, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
hmm That's how it is. Biologically, you're supposed to be that. And in today's society, you're shamed for being a strong masculine man.
Mm-hmm.
And, we throw the word masculine and alpha. We have all these container words, but I like masculine because masculinity, you know, the masculine and the feminine, that's all about, balance. And it's not too much of a cheesy word, masculinity.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It hits the nail right on the head, and it embodies what it is a man is naturally designed to be and function as in life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what you have the show titled is like the four traits, and like there are masculine characteristics and masculine traits just as there is feminine. And naturally, biologically, we operate from our masculine core through these traits. And this is traits we carry as men are supposed to. And
Mm-hmm.
supposed to might be a little strong, but that's how nature designed it to be. To what degrees each person is going to vary from man to man. Like I was thinking about this earlier, what masculinity means and what they've taken from masculinity these days.
Mm-hmm.
And you think about when I was a kid in school, in elementary school, second grade, 7, 8 years old, we still had recess then. I'm pretty sure they've taken away recess out of schools.
Mm-hmm.
But you would go for lunchtime and two 15-minute recess periods throughout the day. And the boys would all go outside, shirts off, hauling ass straight to the field. And we would play these like battle games and compete and wrestle and tackle each other. And, we'd huddle up and make plans to go talk to the little Susie on whoever we had a crush on. We'd always have these competitions and compete and challenge each other. And we released aggression and we gained status and dominance over one another.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just came natural.
Yeah.
And when you would I could remember being a little boy and being fired up. And like the teacher saying, all right, recess is over. Like, no, not yet. You just being you're in that zone. And so, yeah, a lot of what it means to be a man these days is shamed. And, there's that term toxic masculinity that's stamped on any, strong, independent, sovereign man who can handle himself, mentally, physically. Anybody who has balls and a backbone and is willing to stand up for what he believes in, which is, living as a traditional masculine man, is shamed.
Mm-hmm.
And you called, misogynist and patriarchy and all this bullshit.
Do you think that's why men are afraid to be masculinity because show they're masculine or be masculine because they don't want to be shamed for it? Is that, do you think that's like a reason why? Just because the way society has viewed masculinity in our culture?
Yeah, well, if you come up believing, so as a little boy, you're this little monster in a good way. You like to fight. You like trying to run around the schoolyard trying to kiss the girls, which today would be sexual harassment. just doing shit little boys like to do. And in these days, society is trying to program that out of men to show
Mm-hmm.
them what they think that a man should be. We'll do another show on why they want to do that, but
Okay.
so bear with me.
Yeah, no problem.
So what they start early, and they start telling you about, uh, you know, no violence. It's not okay to be aggressive. You should sit in a chair at school and be completely cooperative and attentive, just as attentive as the little girl is. If not, you're a bad boy.
Mm-hmm.
You should not, you know. And look, I don't think you should do this as a grown man out in public. And I like burp and just do things little boys do, fight,
Mm-hmm.
have an aggressive approach to certain things
Mm-hmm.
like sports. And that's little boys are told that's wrong, that's bad.
Right.
Like to really try to rewire this boy's biology to live in this unnatural state for so long, and it just kind of starts to stick. Like you
Mm-hmm.
see when they cage these animals at a zoo,
Mm-hmm.
eventually they just kind of get used to the cage. They submit. They have
Mm-hmm.
domesticated at some point. And it's only because of forced repetition over and over, and they just kind of suck the will.
Mm-hmm.
And but the thing is, the this masculine instinct, this masculine urge, it never goes away. It's just suppressed. And I
Mm-hmm.
believe that's what so many imbalances are from. You see these guys losing their shit. And look, I'm not taking anything away from mental illness or emotional instability. and but you get these guys who freak out and lose their tempers or want to go shoot public places up, and the guys who just lose their shit are just repressed. They're
Mm-hmm.
confused. They're scared. They're confused. They're ashamed.
Emotional too. Like they're very kind of emotional and stuff too, right? And because
Oh
of that,
yeah.
they act out in different ways. Whereas if you had your masculinity, you maintain control of your emotions.
Well, you would. So you see a lot of these things stem from. I think the last one, maybe not the last one. I don't keep up with the shit. I don't watch the news. So you see this last one of these shooters. Was rejected by women so many times that he eventually got fed up, lost his shit, went and shot up
Mm-hmm.
a yoga studio or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and had that guy been in touch and able to express who he is truly and have a place to go where he could be that without being shamed, he wouldn't have given a shit about being rejected by a woman to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
He would know that there's certain things he has to focus on and maintain in his life and himself, and the women come. Or you get a
Right.
better woman. If she rejected you, see you. Something better's around the corner at some point. And
Mm-hmm.
you would be more focused on, why is this bothering me? Why should this bother me? Shit, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't. I have a whole life to live. I have choices. I have options. And
Right. But I think like so like just I think like a lot of guys too they get that have that frustration with women too because like they don't have the experience and they're afraid of being rejected because and because of that they act out and I think like people have to if you're one of it masculine good masculine trait would just be to like learn how to overcome that struggle and you can build your confidence through trying to get good with women instead of focusing on
well,
like trying to actually yeah sure we all want to get laid for sure but just by going out there and breaking out of your comfort zone doing something you've never done before opening your life up to new experiences like talking becoming good with women. I mean that's going to help build that confidence and then like you get a guy who needs to focus on other area. I think like a lot of guys just have hard they just focus maybe on women and they get frustrated with the rejection but they should be focusing on themselves and focusing on other areas and making their lives awesome and everything that
guess
way
what?
to help them grow their confidence and ease that frustration.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a great point. And so here's the thing. If you want to be successful, if you want to live a quality life and have great things and have what it takes to move forward and be successful and have women and have choice and have abundance, you better get used to fucking rejection in life. That's a masculine trait, being impervious to rejection. Keep going, keep going. That's a feminine trait, being afraid of rejection and not acting because of it. That's something.
Well, yeah, because you're giving into your emotions and everything. A real
you're
man.
Into your emotions, you're giving into this fear, and what that is a lack of absence of courage. And what that stems from is never having been challenged in life. And what you see with these kids these days, they're not challenged anymore. These little boys, they don't know what it's like to be told no. If they fall down and skin their knee, they rushed and attended to and coddled. And I'm not saying you shouldn't love your kids, and I'm not saying you shouldn't show your kids compassion and kindness in all human beings, as a matter of fact. And I did a little, took a few notes. I told you in the beginning before we started.
Yeah.
And compassion and kindness, I believe, is a masculine trait. Not nice. Don't conflate nice with kind. We label a stereotypical nice guy, and it's different from being a kind person.
Yeah, you can still do humane things without being labeled like a nice guy. And I know what you mean by that.
Right.
Sure.
So rejection is just part of the process. Rejection is part of the game.
Right, it is.
The only way to overcome rejection is to keep getting rejected and do well anyway, and to succeed anyway.
Right.
You get the 10 no's, you got 2 nights a week through a bar and you get shot down 2 nights. No. And I got a boyfriend, not interested, whatever bullshit. Keep going.
Right. Well,
once you're impervious to that rejection, when you're impervious to that rejection, the thought of it doesn't hinder you from taking the next step, no matter what the obstacle seems to be.
Right. No. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Well, I think too, the more you go out there and you face rejection, you get used to it and you realize it's really not that bad. A lot of people it's mostly like an ego thing, rejection is, but you learn by just being, consistent and, through repetition. And when that happens, because when a guy goes out there for he's new, has no experience with talking to women, he's going to get rejected a lot. He's not going to get any numbers. He's going to get flaked on, but it's good to go out there and gain that experience and then realize that, hey, you dealt with the rejection. You can move past that, anxiety and fear that you have from rejection just by going out there and taking action.
Well, and so what that also learned is don't take shit so personal. You get rejected by a chick, and I know we keep going to women, but that's just an easy reference point, right? So we'll just keep using that. So you go out and you see a hot 7 at the bar, approach, shot down, you fucking crashed out. And if you can't walk away with the attitude like, she had a bad day. This chick has bad taste. She don't know what she's missing.
Right.
If you walk away from that interaction, taking it personal, like it was a reflection on you and who you are as a person, you're going to be fucked up for the rest of the night. Possibly a couple of days moving forward, wondering what's wrong with you, what's wrong with me. Sometimes it just ain't time. Sometimes, and this can apply to, job, approaching women, anything in life you may be trying to do and taking an L. And if the quicker you get on board with the idea that rejection is part of the game and it's your job to overcome it and accept it and move forward. And if there's a lesson in there, by all means, if there's something you keep doing repeatedly that's not working, the idea is to learn from that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because that's a lot of things and I stress this a lot and I even have to be aware of this, but you could be doing something during your interactions that you're repeatedly doing that's keeping you from having success. And through the repetition and persistence, you got to learn what it is you got to sit back and assess what it is you might be doing wrong, so you can actually try something new that will get you ahead, rather, because if you keep on doing the same thing all the time. And I mentioned there's a chapter, I mentioned in my book, it's about persistence and everything. And like, like I think persistence is good because I say in the book, it toughens the mind and you get to learn from your experiences. But you got to be able to learn what it is you're doing through those experiences. Because if you're
Yes.
stuck on doing the same thing all the time, you may be unknowingly doing something that's not getting you success with women, or let's say you have a business venture and you're probably going about your marketing, you're doing the wrong thing with your marketing or the way you're communicating with people. So you got to be aware of that and figure you got to just try new shit out until like you get it right. And a real
Well,
man will fucking do that and figure out if he really wants it, he'll do whatever, he'll figure out how to get it done.
so on my handy list of notes I wrote here,
You got a lot, buddy. But I'm glad you're prepared.
I went nuts, dude. I had a
That's good though. I like that.
a beautiful mind moment there for a minute. I went a little crazy with the
Yeah,
pen.
that's your superpower.
Under the mental is acuity, mental acuity, being able to read a situation and see what is and isn't working. And if it's working, keep doing it. But you have to be aware. If you keep, like, just say, let's exaggerate this to make it very well understood. If you catch eyes from a chick across the room, or you are in a job interview and you have a tendency to pick your nose and you don't ever get the job or get the chick, you got to know, you got to be able to identify that that's probably, if not the key thing, one of the big things that are causing you to not reach where you want to be. Now you got to make a correction. Now you have to put effort into not picking your nose when you're in a job interview or going to talk to the smoke show on the other side of the club.
Right.
And it's got to be an effort through repetition with the acuity. And that's being able to read the situation and see where it is, what is working, what's not working, where do adjustments need to be made. And that just comes with a certain awareness through your life that you have from being mentally sharp and focused. It all comes together, and that's on my list as well. Focus, problem solving.
Right. Oh, you mentioned focus in your notes, and I do agree focus is good because you need focus to take action, and you need focus to develop discipline. You need focus to be persistent. You need to focus and being responsible for yourself and getting yourself ahead. So talk more about focus, Joe, and that's very good because I think that's important.
So, I mean, Avi, you said it. You pretty much said it there. Focus with that requires it all. It's bundled. It's bunched together. Focus, discipline, staying on task, which I guess you could chalk up with focus. But that. So in order to see something through from start to finish requires focus. And every person has their, like for instance, staying focused on your gym routine. How easy is it day to day? And this is why it's so important that I preach that you write your day down so you never have to second guess. You always have a reference. You go, okay, 4:00, I'm at the gym. I'm not.
So you do that. You have your day planned out pretty much, so you can.
I do. I don't have it right next to me. My girlfriend.
That's good though. I think. See, that's one thing I need to develop discipline on because I got so much going on. I think that's what I got to do is budget my time.
Time management is a motherfucker for me. Motherfucker. Right. I've had for many years, I worked in the oil and gas industry, and I'd have my whole year laid out for me on a schedule. I didn't have to do much thinking. All I had to do was drive to and from work. I get to work. There's an itinerary. You open your email. There's a meeting you have to go to. There's the paperwork you have to get done, the tasks to get done for the day. If you got a project, who's on your project, what meeting you have to go, all this. I really had to do anything. And living the life that you live, that I'm striving and going to attain, of a sovereign man, who has his own business, an entrepreneurial life, I suppose you could call it. You have to be absolutely super disciplined with time management. And look, some people have the knack. I'm not one of them. I'm here to tell you. I have to work really hard at it.
Right. I know.
When I have enough money rolling in, I'm going to delegate some tasks. And that's another thing
exactly
about being masculine is being able to lead your life, lead yourself, and recognizing you have strengths, you have weaknesses. where can you delegate some of the stuff that would be time better spent, you spending energy on the things you are good at that could make you progress your days, your time, your money, your relationships, whatever. Where could that energy be expended best? Some
No,
people have
I like that. Well said, though. Like, no, because that's what I got to do. Because I'm still working my full-time job, and I got like YouTube. I'm doing business plus working out, and then I host meetup groups and hang out with friends.
you're on the
And like
grind.
I have a lot of stuff. Like sometimes I burn myself out. It's I gotta like manage my time. I think if I have an effective like schedule, like I could like manage the time where I can kind of I don't like overburden myself, because that could really I swear to God, like it's weird ever since since like I've been hitting up YouTube very hard, and it's been like it's like a third job. Just
Do you want me to give you a quick what mine looks like?
yeah. Oh yeah, show us our reviewers the schedule that you got going on. That's good though. I'd like to see that. Then they might want to see that too.
We can see there's a standard page. This is where I started. So my girlfriend bought me this badass leather-bound organizer planner. But this is where it started, in this notebook. This is the notebook I did my notes in. I just so happened to have it. So you divvy it up into 3 sections, right? Here on the far right, I'm sure it's all backwards and shit because of the camera, is appointments, tasks, and information, right? So if you look closely, you'll have Tuesday from 0700 to 019 to 1900, which is 18, 17, 18, 19, 7 o'clock. That's just where my day.
I'm too well. I'm still learning that, but
that's just where my day ended for that day. So on the far left, and the far left third is your appointments. That's everything you have to do and be places you have to be for that day on set times. So, at 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe a gym session. 11 o'clock, you have to be at a doctor's appointment. Appointments only. Middle section, tasks. Gym, meditation, background check. You're checking in on a background check. Laundry, Roy, Chris, passport, Twick. All these things I have to attend to. This is just my tasks. So this doesn't go in your appointment section, right?
Right.
This is just the tasks that have to be completed for this day.
So
then information into the far right third. And what that is comprised of is, if there's something like with the gym, all right, what do I have to do with the gym? I got to go to the gym, but you see here, I got membership.
Right.
So with the gym, associated with the gym, while I was there, I had to renew my membership.
Okay.
So that's anything logistical that has to be dealt with according to the tasks that associated to the tasks. It's like shoes. I don't remember what I had to do for shoes, but say my shoes are ripped and I had to bring them to the shoe repair. So then it would be, find shoe repair guy if I don't have one.
Right.
And so anything that may hinder the task being completed goes into the information category to be looked at. So now what you have is a layout for your day. That is a huge chunk of energy expended thinking about what you have to do from hour to hour. Because if you try to log it all mentally, you're going to forget shit. Or shit's going to get done half-assed.
Right. No, yeah. Plus you're taking up energy. Didn't you mention something about energy too? Like
yes,
conserving.
Yeah. Using that worthwhile energy you could be putting into scheduling podcast guests, editing your book, putting out a blog, making an Instagram post, something that could further your bottom line or put your day in, put the next following days in a more productive place. But and then so now you don't have to think about all this shit.
But yeah, you have it all down. You can just look at it right away. No, it's a good way. And plus, you're organizing your time, and you're going to dedicate. But then you can. But one person can write this down, but they have to discipline themselves to like actually follow the schedule. I think discipline is very
Well,
important too.
that is required is to look at it at least 3 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
Check it 3 times a day. When you first get up, as you're going about your tasks. And if you have things to do, you're going to be checking it pretty regularly anyway. You know what I
Right.
mean? Huge
But
help. Life
but
changing.
so yeah, what do you have to say though? We were talking about focus again, but do you think do you think people can lose their focus though? Like, if they get, say someone's going to
Absolutely.
talk to girls, learn how to get to girls, and they lose the focus because they're getting frustrated because nothing's happening, or they're trying to lose weight and they're getting frustrated and they lose that focus. How would you say, what's an important way for them to like kind of, get back rolling when they're just kind of like, trying to, when they lose that focus and everything.
Well,
Hey Jason, how you doing, buddy?
so say whatever whatever direction you want to go in, whatever you're trying to achieve, whether it be with women or job, income, learning a new skill, what have you. Take time and look, when you really want something bad enough, you're not going to lose focus. You're not going to get discouraged. This goes back to persistence. Now, look, I'm not saying your spirit won't be weakened at times or dampened because of rejection, because you're not getting the results you want. So here's a way to overcome that. Is beforehand, you make a list and you title the list, what will things look like for me if I don't change this about me? Whatever the situation is. If I'm 20 pounds overweight, what does that look for me? What does that look like for me in a year? And write down all the negatives. Complication, illness, potential diabetes, heart disease. I look like shit. I feel like shit. Whatever. Health. You can clump it up to health, but I prefer getting into detail. Drill down. So health. What about your health? You develop sleep apnea, which could potentially put a strain on your heart, but you're not getting rest, so you're not thinking clearly. And go down. Get in that shit. Drill down. And if it's like health, why your health? Because I could get fat. Well, why could you get fat? Because I eat like shit. Well, why do you eat like shit? Keep going. And get those lists of what this looks like for you if you don't do anything about it.
Right. No, that's very good. And you can, some person
That's not it. That's not the end.
Oh, wow.
On the other half of the page is, what does this look like when, not if, when I accomplish these, when I apply myself to accomplish this? What does this look like? Then write all the benefits. I look sexy naked. I can wear tighter fitting clothes. I feel better. I look better. I function better. I think clearer. I don't have to worry about dying at 40 years old from a heart attack. And I'll be more productive, and write all the list of benefits. Because here's the thing. Everybody's going to get excited about shit this start.
Yeah, everyone does when they get rolling on the goal, right?
A new broom always sweeps clean, right? New relationships, new jobs, new money, new car, new dogs. They have a puppy, and 6 weeks you fucking hate them because they tore all your shit up.
Luckily, my dog hasn't done that yet.
No. Well, you see, the thing is you make it through the puppy stage.
Yeah, I
and
did.
With anything, you make it through the puppy stage. But there's going to be a time where it lags. It takes a dip. And it's not going to be as fun. It's not going to be as appealing. And you can just start rationalizing and wanting to make excuses like, God damn, this ain't turning out. Oh, this ain't working out. This fuck, I can't get a fucking chick's number to save my ass. No, I can't land this job. I can't do, and here comes that talk, that destructive, limiting self-talk.
Right.
So now you remember why you started. Now you have a place to go to remember, okay, I don't want to be a fat ass next year, even fatter, and be in worse off health and ashamed to take my clothes off when I'm with a chick. whatever your motivation is, whatever you have to put down on that list for you to reflect on, and then the good side for you to look at to remember why you got to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I
focus and discipline, right? Because discipline always wins. Motivation comes and goes.
yeah,
There's some
can I,
days, and I am well entrenched in a routine.
mm-hmm.
And there was some days I would much rather stay in bed with my girlfriend, eating junk food and dodging all these things that I have to
Like
get done in
another
the day.
lazy day, right?
Yeah. But I can't. I
Yeah.
have a list of shit I gotta get. I
Yeah.
have to get it done. There's no option. There's no negotiating that.
You know what? I had one suggestion too. Like, so we're talking about the reason, like, what's going to happen if you don't take action, and you talk about why you're going to take action. And then you talk about, well, what it's going to be like after you take action. I think too, another thing to kind of help keep have guys stay focused is that they have like a little another column for some of the successes that they have, because I think a lot of guys, they go out, they have successes, and they, even when they have a setback, they fail to realize all the successes they've had.
That's a great point. That's a great
I've
point.
had plenty of successes, but when I have my setbacks, I completely focus on the bad and forget about all the successes I
The
had.
last thing that comes to mind is everything you did right.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that would be another like little step that is kind of like focus on some of the successes. That helps you deal with that frustration, because you can say to yourself, well, hey, why I went out and talked to 5-10 women this week, I got rejected, but wait a minute, I like scored with 5 different chicks last month, why do I care? That's just, I think it, like, when it comes to success, it's like it has its ups and its downs. You're gonna have your peaks where things are going well, and you got your moments when you're going down. You got to learn how to develop the discipline to like deal with this shit when you're kind of on the downward slope, because that does kind of happen. It goes up and down.
Well, I have a solution for that too, and this is
Oh,
not
okay,
mine.
cool.
This is something I hijacked from David Goggins. Are you
I know
familiar?
David Goggins. Yeah, he's very cool.
And he calls that his cookie jar. Did you ever hear that? He calls that the cookie jar.
Oh
When
yeah, I think yeah.
when you're about to quit, reach down in that cookie jar, pull out some of that shit. Like, yeah, all right, I'm not having a great month. I didn't get, but shit, a month ago I was in it, neck deep in winning. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I got what it takes. I've faced this before, or something similar to it. Here's what I applied. Boom. You change the trajectory of your state. You change the trajectory of whatever the situation is going.
Mm-hmm.
From diving and losing to boom. You just change the did I say it, trajectory that quick,
Right.
just by acknowledging that you do have what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's just all it takes is the spark.
Right. No,
The forest fire always started with a little spark, right?
exactly. Like there you go. And you got to keep in the mind too, like, when you're working on something, you don't think you're going to have success. You got to think about all the other stuff you've had success in life, and say, hey, because like I think about this too sometimes, like when things are kind of tough, I just kind of think back to other times when I was working on a goal and things were tough, and if I was able to deal with the adversity when that happened, I had this, gave me the fucking strength just to like plow through what I was doing now.
Well, it's inevitable. There are going to be, and I think this is just tests that are thrown in every man's way who wants to achieve anything. There are these tests.
Right. No, I agree.
How
That's
bad
true.
you want it, and what are you willing to do to get it? Do you really want it? Do you really want it? And here you go. Before you get it, here's what you're gonna have to go. And this is where a lot of people lose out. This is where a lot of people give up in the middle of that test, right before it's about to get good. They succumb. They give in to that weakness.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true. I agree. Like I do believe that like tests are thrown at us. Like, because if you're strong enough and really want what it is you're going after, you're gonna deal through the test, and life's gonna throw some like tough shit at you while you're working on your goals and stuff. And you got to just be able to face it, because like that just shows the universe that's like that you really want that. Right? Most people who give up on that, they didn't really even want it.
No, exactly. And if you quit and fold at the first sign of adversity and whatnot, you really didn't want it that bad to begin with, right? That's the way I view it. And I said it before about the list and all. That's all good. That's all great tools to manage your day to day, to manage your life, to take away the confusion and the mental clutter, and have provide clarity and direction moving forward. But at the end of the day, when you really want something, you go after it obsessively, and there's really nothing that can stop you. When you see somebody going after something with passion, that they're deeply passionate about, that they believe in to their core, there's nothing you can do to stop them. Whereas you have somebody who has excuses, there's nothing you can do to get them to achieve it.
Right, exactly. Well, see, we're talking about traits of masculinity. Like that's another trait of man. A man goes after what he wants. Doesn't give in to the obstacles. He's persistent. He'll find a way to make his life happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Under any circumstance.
Exactly. So, but yeah, it's yeah, but that's just crazy though. Like, it's weird how it's weird how life will just throw like little challenges your way just to show you how much you want things. Like I used to think things would come easy like overnight. I used. You ever heard the magic pill and stuff where you take it and you wish things happen overnight? I used to think, well, see, I remember watching the YouTube videos when I was trying to get good at talking to women, and I would just just think, okay, yes, I'm going to learn these lines and it's going to help, but it didn't really help. There's a lot more to it.
There's only one way through it, and that's through it, and whatever that looks like. And this is this mindset of this instant gratification that as soon as something goes wrong, like, this is fucked. I'm out. I think, society today suffers from this lack of attention span, the ability to see long-term, the big picture. Anything that is quality that you want to acquire in life requires time, sacrifice. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, and it's not going to come on a silver platter. If it does, you're not going to respect it that much anyway.
Yeah, that's true. No, that's true. I realize that too. Like, when I'm, giving stuff for, this is just an analogy, but when I'm giving stuff for free that I really haven't even earned, like it's just like, oh, I don't, to me, it really has no value. Like, if I'm doing something where I got something as a result of doing a lot of work and putting in effort, that has more value to me. And, it was interesting how that. Yeah, I thought like cool having something free for doing nothing would be cool, but but I realized, and I experienced that, like, nah, it's not. When you go out there and you fucking face the challenges life throws at you, and you actually got what you worked hard for. That just being on the journey, and that I think that's every man has to find his own journey. His journey is his life. What is he going to create for himself, and he's going to have to face all the challenges in his life that to go through what it is he wants to accomplish, not only within himself but like in the outside world too.
The hero's journey, right? Call to
Yep,
action.
A Hero's Journey. Yep, remember that book, The Hero's Journey by George. You're talking about George Campbell, right? You know the book, yeah.
That fires me up, doesn't it? So yeah, I mean, who wants some boring ass life that's given to him anyway? I've lived that life. There was a part of my life when I was that guy. I had the 9 to 5. I had the mundane. I went nuts. I hated myself. I hated what I woke up to every day. Like a part of me had died inside, and that was part of that masculine essence that we were talking about in the beginning. That was repressed, almost extinguished, and the repressed urge and instinct led to all kind of fucked up shit. Depression, just really having no enthusiasm for life, no zeal. It just it's a robot. One foot in front of you, left foot, right foot. Wake up, go to work, come home, eat, take a shit, take a shower, go to sleep, wake up and do it again.
Right. No,
And
you know what's weird? I actually thought like like having like the job was the dream, but then like you realize there's more to life than that.
so
That
much more.
a lot of people, I think society conditions us to like think that we chase after your career and stuff, and then
Well,
actually
because they need people like that, turning the wrenches and flipping the switches, and
they need those people to make money so they can spend money and consume goods, products, and services.
they need consumers. They need people in debt. They need debt slaves and consumers. Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly right. I mean, so look, we got what, 15 minutes or so left, and we have a
Yeah,
show
yeah.
about 4 masculine traits, and we haven't been over one. Do you want
Oh,
to
okay.
maybe run through?
Yeah, run through some of your stuff, Joe. I want to hear it.
All right. Well, I told you before, there's way more than 4, and it's hard to
Yeah, I
embody,
know.
what I would consider masculine and a masculine essence, a frame, whatever, and to 4 words, 4 traits. So what I did was I put physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. And within each one of those is these little subcategories. There's little sub
Mhm.
uh, character attributes and actions. I can't think of the damn word that you should be doing that apply to each one. And these all go together. You don't have one without the other. And
Mhm.
with a hole in one of them, it's not a complete circle, and you're missing something. So I mean, it's physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. And the physical, is the obvious.
Mhm.
Your body, the condition you're in. Like, what are you
Shape,
looking like?
fashion.
Hmm.
Yeah, like your shape, being in shape, the way
Your,
your style and
your
everything.
aesthetic,
Yeah.
like your body itself. What do you look like naked in the mirror? Do you walk around at a high percentage body fat and have a hard time walking upstairs? Is sex short and ungratifying because you can't keep up and you can't last? Or uh, can you not do simple things, exert yourself physically without getting winded? What do you look like? Are you strong? Are you weak? Can you do shit? Can you move? So I got like body aesthetic. Can you protect yourself? That goes under physical.
And
Are you
talking about
involved
protect yourself again, is that means kind of like
a physical
survival?
threat?
Okay.
Can you protect yourself? If some shit kicks off, can you at least do enough to get yourself out of there safely? Or your
Cool.
loved
I'd
one?
like to do a separate show with you about that. I think that'd be a fun topic to talk about.
It is fun.
Yeah, because you do
It's
some.
something.
I know you
What's
do
that?
some. I know you do some sort of form of martial arts or something, right? Taekwondo or something like that.
No, not taekwondo.
What is it?
Jiu-jitsu, Japanese
Jiu-jitsu.
jiu-jitsu.
Japanese jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Yeah, and I do this hand-to-hand combatives. I used to be a lot more involved. Uh, Unfortunately, I don't have the time to fulfill both, so I lean over towards traditional Japanese jiu-jitsu more. But I still like to make the hand-to-hand combatives classes because it's real-time applicable
Mm-hmm.
situations for violence, like immediate.
Right. Well, let's not get sidetracked, and then
Yeah,
let me
let's not.
get your traits. We'll talk about the bringing out the warrior in another show.
Definitely. And
Cool.
then hygiene. And look, the benefits to a martial art and having that ability to protect yourself, to be able to handle yourself on the street, and protect your girl or your wife and your kids. That's that is more than just being able to do that. There's a lot that comes with that, the confidence, the
Mm-hmm.
calm. And so we'll get into that, the
Yeah,
benefits of
we'll do it on
that.
another show.
Hygiene, fashion, posture, all these things fall into the physical. How do you do? How do you look? You keep your, if you got a beard, do you keep your beard trim? You keep a haircut. Do you stink? Do you wear good cologne? Do your
I
clothes
think I
fit
smell
right?
pretty good.
I can smell you from here. Uh, yeah. So, and of course, there's other things. But for the sake of time, we're going to run through emotionally centered and calm,
Hmm.
emotionally unreactive.
I think
Uh,
that's a big one that guys have to work on is this emotional control and stuff. That's all. That was a big one of mine.
especially these days, Robert. I was
Hmm.
raised by a single mother.
So was I.
And what is a woman's primary operation uh, system is to go by what? Decision making and responding emotionally.
Hmm.
I had a mom and an older sister in the house, and my little brother 9 years behind me. Um, so what all I saw was how to deal with shit is blow up, cry if you didn't get your way, or you know, just not what a man, not what the masculine embodies is emotionally reactive.
Right.
Because what a woman is going to look for you in a man as a long term viable option is you being able to stay emotionally centered and grounded when she's in her emotional storm, when she's losing her shit. She don't want somebody jumping in and losing shit with her and making a bigger
That'd
shitstorm.
be make the storm even worse.
Right. Then it's a super shitstorm, whatever, category 5. What if they wanted somebody who's strong and grounded? And we have like you hear terms here, the oak, the mountain, the rock. And it's true. You got to think of yourself as that immovable mountain emotionally.
Hmm.
Shit goes down, you cool breeze. There's nothing going to affect me. Go ahead and have you fit, say what you got to say, have you cry. And, you calm down. I'm here, unaffected,
Hmm.
help you to solve this together or not. And that's another show in itself, too. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that'd be a good one. Yeah.
centered, unreactive. And that goes in any situation. I was on I worked out in a particular refinery, fire brigade and the rescue team. There's one thing you couldn't do going into a fire on a unit, with shit kicking off, is lose your shit
Right.
and cause a chain reaction of everybody losing their shit. You had to go in there and rely on your training, one foot in front of the other, and keep a clear head, a clear logical head of what the next step is going to be. Not how you feel about what's going on and react to that. Because a lot of the times, and I can tell you, I've been there, it's unnatural to walk into a fire. It's not natural to go in the direction of the fire,
Hmm.
of the potential explosion or whatever, or what it could potentially turn into.
Right.
So emotionally, I would be afraid. There would be an element of fear, an element of hesitation. And I got to be honest, a little bit excited. I
Hmm.
like that shit. I'm an adrenaline junkie. So,
There you go.
um, so it's being able to overcome that, removing the emotion from it, step away from the feeling, and give it a perspective from like a 10,000-foot view, and look back and see what needs to be done. And that's one of the next things that come on with in the mental category, and we'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, all right, I'm going on about that. Emotionally unreactive, whatever the situation may be, which leads into the next thing is to have the capacity to be cold and calculated when it's time. Sometimes you just got to be that guy. And you also have to be the compassionate and kind guy. I think that is a key trait that a
Hmm.
lot of men lack, is compassion. It's my opinion. You try to over alpha this shit. People come into the space and like, alpha, I'm alpha. I don't
Yeah, I'm welcome in, all like
uh,
that, and
I
then
don't
turn that
smile. I don't laugh.
off.
I'm not. I have no sense of humor, and kindness. Kindness is very undervalued, not talked about trait enough in this space. I don't think kindness from one of what gets
Yeah, yeah.
what put me into the space and doing what I'm doing and offering my services to men in these consultations is about compassion for the next man who's suffering.
Yeah, that's why I did that's why I started this channel, because I like know what it's like to be a guy who's just frustrated with women, that has no direction sometimes. And like, I working with my, these mentors that I've had over the past 4 or 5 years, have really, opened my eye to many different things and had me change, the way I look at things in life. And I want to kind of give that back to people as well.
Absolutely. I love that.
Hmm.
That's why you'll do well with it. It's coming from a pure place. You can't go
Exactly.
wrong. Mental, and that's just a few things from each category. Mental, focused, went over that. Accountable, accountability.
Yep.
It may not be your fault, but it's your responsibility to clean the fucking mess up and fix it.
Yep, that's true.
Lose the fucking victim mindset. Calm, which can kind of go into emotional. You know, you can be logical, solution oriented. You help us solve problems. That's a few things in the middle. And what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So cold and calculated. That could go either way, I guess. Spiritual. And I think spiritual is a non-existent thing in the space. And I believe that's a huge gap in, a lot of men's lives. So all these things may need repair, may need attention, some to a greater degree than another. Some guys physical, like physically, I kept myself up pretty well. I didn't need a bunch of that. The things that I needed to change physically most were diet and sleep, because I would burn a candle at both ends, and that's not healthy. Do not recommend it. Matter of fact, don't do it.
No.
But emotionally, from having a fucked up childhood and coming from a toxic upbringing, I had some trauma. I had some shit I had to deal with.
Right. Same here, man.
And it came from childhood. It wasn't my fault. I didn't put it there. I didn't want to, think that way about myself or have these views about certain things. It was just embedded and programmed, and it was in my subconscious. But nobody gives a fuck. It's yours now. Do something.
Right.
Yeah, it has to be done. Nobody's going to fix it. So accountability and logic. You got to be able to stay logical. And I'm not saying it's not a time. I'm not saying when it comes to being emotional, you should not have any emotions. I think people get that mixed up. Like, you shouldn't be robotic. The point is about being emotionally reactive is making the decision, especially an impulsive decision in a moment based off of an emotion, right?
Right.
Just clear that up. I think it's okay to be happy. You're going to be sad. You're going to be angry. You're going to be fearful of some things. And you're going to be, some days you're just going to be off. And that's just the way it is mentally.
Yeah, I know. You're gonna be focused on shit. Someday, it's just like I said. It goes up to you're gonna have your days where you're just like going up, and then the days where it goes down. That's just how it goes.
You come back to the mental.
You
back to the mental category. Look at acuity. Why is this not going right? What is going? Why is my day off? Sometimes it's you didn't sleep enough. Sometimes you slept too much. Overworked. Whatever. But anyway, the spiritual. One of the things I've picked up in the last couple of years, meditation.
Oh, that's good. I like meditation too.
Man, look, I can't emphasize enough the effect of meditation. It's like 10 minutes a day, meditation. It doesn't require much. And it doesn't have to be I think meditation nowadays, like, people are so desperate to find some peace and clarity in their lives, these hectic lives we live now. There's all these offerings of, and look, I'm not knocking, because any form of meditation and higher awareness and tapping into your higher being, which exists in all of us, is good, is positive. But it doesn't have to be this hour-long every day. You don't have to buy the app. You don't have to do this. There's a few simple techniques that I use daily. All right, I'm telling myself, not daily. Sometimes I miss it. But 9 times out of 10, 6 out of 7 days a week, I'm meditating. And I make it a point. Even if I don't do it when I'm supposed to in the morning, when I really prefer to do it before I start my day, at some point, I will make the time to meditate.
Oh, I agree that it's important, because, like, I think when you can meditate, it clears, like you mentioned, we got all this crap going on in our heads, but when you got your focus on your job, you focus on your life. And I find that meditation, just when you do that, it just gives you that, 10 minutes, 15 minutes when you're just not thinking about shit and you're just focusing on, like, your breath. And, like, I like to listen to when I meditate, I listen to Tibetan singing bowls because I used to go to this meditation place, but it shut down. And what they do, you get in a hammock and then they play they have someone do the bowl and everything. And like those, I like just focusing on the sound because that just like I just felt the energy just flowing through my head, and I just had that mental clarity. We did that. It was like an hour session. I remember like just leaving that, man, like you're a whole new person. Like you just
You're in a whole nother
refresh,
place,
your
man.
mind's closed, and that's important for like stress and also meditation too is going to show you guys how to be present and in the moment when you're talking to a girl and stuff.
That
Like
is
it's going to help
huge.
you feel being in the moment.
Well, here we go with the meditation. It contributes to all that. Being present, being emotionally unreactive, relieves stress, clears your thinking. You know, it has all these benefits that go far beyond just being quiet for a few minutes. And it allows you to tap into your subconscious, maybe sort some things out subconsciously that are kind of tangled up and misunderstood. It does. It's great. And, and there's other things like there's the basic game pieces for any guy trying to get ahead, your money, your social status, your body, and, where you're at mentally, or you're competent mentally, body, career, social, financial. So, I mean, those are just some, some small, I like to call game pieces that you can always attend to improve the quality of your life at any point. And especially, and it just simplifies especially if you're first starting out or coming out of a rough patch. It's just a few small points that you can always refer back to and break down. Financially, you can break that down into what do I need? What do I need to get ahead? Socially, what is your social status? You know what to do, how to increase the quality of that. Physically, we talked about that. And I forgot the other one. Anyway, looks like we're running close.
You got a little bit more time, man. We can go a little bit over. I got like 10 more minutes.
Well,
but no, I definitely want to get, the meditation thing too. We're talking about like, I think that's kind of helped me deal with, with controlling my emotions and, controlling anxiety. Because I learned through meditation when I can take my mind off it. Well, I like to, accept the moment for what it is. But when I do the meditation and focus on the breath, it kind of keeps my mind off what's going on in the moment too. With whatever be causing like the stress and anxiety, when I'm just and I'm also energizing myself through meditation as well.
Absolutely. Cleansing all that mental clutter goes well beyond just being it's an overall sense of well-being, inner peace, clarity, and it's really about kind of being in touch, being with your higher self. And that has helped me tremendously.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one of the things I did, like, when I was first trying to get good at talking to women, and like, because I'd always be stuck in my head, and I tried to figure out ways to get stuck out of my head, and like, meditation was one of them, but I realized number two was just going out there and being social to get you in a more social, energetic mode and changing your mindset to that. This being like, the social person and stuff like that. So, but anyways, Joe, anything you want to wrap things up before we get off the show? We're gonna call it quits here now. But I want to thank you for coming on, and well, I'd like to do a show again. Maybe we can elaborate more on some of the topics that you brought up and everything, just in a live discussion.
Yeah, and if any of you guys need help with this, or have any questions, leave them in the comments. And if anybody wants to reach me for help, go to proudmasculine.com, pricing and plans, book a 1-hour consultation. whether it be, recovering from a breakup, trying to find your, correct course, whatever it may be, trying to get your body right, trying to get your head right, and get some fundamentals of life put together. Women, your body, some of the things that we talked about. I'm available for coaching if you want help with this. I can solve your problems with that.
Well,
Show you
rock
what I
on,
did.
Joe. Thank you, buddy. Well, hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the show very much. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're not a subscriber, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Joe's channel. We create a lot of content here just to help you guys out. Also, if you feel free to donate to help support the channel, because I'm gonna use your donations to kind of make improvements with the channel and be able to produce more content, so I can outsource some of the stuff. And yeah, be sure, if you want to hit me up for coaching, go to my website, Command Your Confidence, and my 2 books are available now on paperback and ebook. The links are in the description there. And yeah, I will be on this show again on when is it? This Saturday I'll be on with Mark's Inspirations, and we're gonna be, I don't know what we're talking about yet, so I'll be doing that Saturday at 2. And hey Joe, and what I'll do, I'll put your links in the description to the video too. Okay.
Cool. Thank you, man.
Normally I had Bernie help me out on this, but he forgot to take your information. So the next time, remember to have him get your links ready for you. But thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thanks for coming on, and I'll see you guys. I actually got a video that's going to be premiering in a couple at 7:45 on why online dating is difficult for guys, and I give you guys some tips on that. So that's going to be premiering in like 10 minutes, and I will be on the air again this Saturday. And thank you all for tuning